Hello, I'm Natalie MacDonald, and you're joining us at FundForums Asia 2016. Joining me now to discuss fintech within the financial services is Keith Hale, Head of Client Services at Multifonds. Keith, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
So firstly, let's take a look then. How would you characterize perhaps fintech and the use of fintech within the financial services industry?
Well, fintech's been used for a long, long time in the financial services industry. Somebody would probably argue how well it's been used over the years, but there's an awful lot of talk, more than there's ever been in fintech terms. If I go back to 25 years when I was first started in fintech, sadly, it's that long, you'll find that, the pesky vendors that provided financial software, or the people that did it in-house, it was kind of bottom of the food chain, if you like. Now it's very much front of what people are talking about, how disruption is going to affect the wider financial services market, how technology, like it has in many other industries, how it's affected those industries, either by obliterating them, or indeed just changing them in a less radical way. So it's a hot time for fintech, no doubt.
So how are we seeing sort of financial institutions use fintech and incorporate it, and how are institutions responding to this growth of fintech services?
Well, as I say, they have been using it for a long time. I think financial technology today is really trying to drive automation. Now that might be in the front office with things like robo-advice, or potentially in the back office to take a pretty heavy regulatory type agenda that has come post the financial crisis, and actually trying to put automation around that and trying to make that easier to do, because costs are still being driven down, so people want to do all this additional regulation and all these different taxes and controls and what have you, but at a less cost. So, and the only way you really can do that is by automation through financial technology. So that's one main area, and then obviously there's other areas such as disruptive technology that can have a more fundamental impact as well.
Because we have, you mentioned there robo-advice, we have also blockchain. Are we seeing sort of real product innovation?
Well, I think there is in the robo-advice area. I think that's really gained some momentum. There's been a lot of discussion around that, but you look at blockchain, it's definitely a front of mind type thing, but a very early stage technology. Obviously with Bitcoin, which uses blockchain underneath, that created kind of a lot of negative press, and cryptocurrencies generally, and understandably so. Non-permissioned kind of cryptocurrencies have issues of that we can all worry about. I won't dwell on those too much now. However, the underlying technology of a distributed ledger, I think can be a game changer in some areas. However, the security aspects and the scalability aspects are yet to be proven and yet to be put really into the mainstream so far. So it's kind of definitely a work in progress right now, but once those proven technologies are proven to be secure, maybe in a permissioned way rather than a permissionless way, then at that stage I think that can radically change, particularly the transaction processing element of the financial services market, and specifically the funds market that we're in, the more the back office. But don't forget, back to the regulatory point, there's a huge amount of regulation, probably more than any other industry. I don't know if that's the case, but it feels like it, certainly working in this industry. There's a ton of regulation, and our analysis of the industry basically indicates that regulatory agenda kind of does stifle some of the innovation that could potentially be put into place, but probably necessarily so for the benefit of the end investor. This is trying to give better investor protection, typically the regulatory agenda. So, but nevertheless, things like blockchain, when they are proven and the various groups have got somewhere with them, at that stage we could see some pretty radical changes in the way we do certainly back office and middle office processing in the funds market.
Well, these are certainly going to be active conversations this week at the FundForums Asia, but we're also starting to look ahead to FundForum International in Berlin. Again, what sort of conversations and what sort of topics are you expecting to be kind of really present there?
Well, I think the three things that really spring to my mind. Number one, we're in a very tumultuous stage of markets, high volatility, we all know that. Many more experts better at commenting on that than I am. But the regulatory agenda is here to stay. There's still plenty of things to happen, you know, the MiFID IIs and what have you. But I think the thing that really has come up the agenda is the thing we've been talking about, which is fintech and things like blockchain and so forth. We're definitely coming forward as really major aspects, and are e-commerce companies going to come into the financial services market like Alibaba has in China? Hasn't really happened in Europe as such yet, probably because of things like regulatory issues. However, what's that? That is the sort of questions I think that are now raising up, as well as the regulation and the market turmoil we're currently going through.
Keith Hale, many thanks for your time. We look forward to seeing you again at FundForum International.
My pleasure, Natalie.
That is all we've got time for right now. Do stay tuned. We'll be bringing you plenty more exclusive interviews right here from FundForum Asia 2016. I'm Natalie MacDonald. Goodbye.